Abundance is your birthright. As a human being on this earth, you are entitled to money. You deserve money. You deserve to have the financial freedom to come and go as you please. But what happens is we are born into systems that indoctrinate us and use our own power, the power of the mind, against us. When we are growing up, we are told stories about how the world works. The biggest story is that we need to go to school, we need to go to college, we need to get a good job, we need to go get a 9-to-5, pay our dues, work hard, earn success. But if success is obtained by struggle, everybody would be successful because it seems like everybody is struggling. No one has gained infinite amounts of success by struggling because that is the path of resistance. When you are working hard towards something, when you're fighting for something, when you're trying to earn something and prove that you need to be worthy in order to receive, you are blocking the very thing that you wish to experience. That is not in accordance with the laws of nature. That is not how we were made. We have something called a reticular activation system. So when you are focusing on lack, your mind filters out all of the abundance and starts finding lack. Just like how when you get a new car, you've never seen this car on the road before because you weren't focused on it. But now that you have this car, it's everywhere. You see it everywhere. It parks next to you. On the highway, you see this car everywhere. That is because your brain is powerful and what you focus on expands. And a lot of humanity is focusing on struggle right now. A lot of humanity is focused on lack and suffering. Even if there might be external proof that suffering exists, it's only an illusion that we have created because our minds are the blueprint. We are the creation. When you're told something when you were younger, you don't question it. You just accept it as truth. And when you accept something as truth and when you have the faith in it and the inner knowing, when you say, no, I know for a fact that there is lack. No, I know for a fact that this is just how it is. That is what you experience. Because that is your belief system. The law of life is the law of belief. And we were taught to not believe in ourselves. We were taught to believe in systems that perpetuate lack and fear and scarcity. That is the only reason why our world is the way that it is right now. Is because the systems have taught us that this is the only way to operate, and we believed it. Hi, if you are new here, my name is Shira Divine, and I am here to end lack consciousness and suffering so we can begin to create a world full of awakened and divine beings. I teach the law of attraction, manifestation, the power of your subconscious mind, and all things spiritual, all things enlightenment, all things money related. So if that interests you, then make sure you hit the follow and subscribe button because I will now be posting every single week. Also, make sure that you check out all of my other channels. I have a podcast called Soul School, and I also have a free Millionaire Mindset Blueprint that you can download that gives you all of the habits, the principles, and the mindset shifts that is needed for you to become a millionaire. And then I also have my TikTok. All of this is going to be linked down below. So now let's get into 3 ways that you can begin to embody abundance right now. The thing is, you repeating something to yourself. Let's say you just come across the concept of manifestation and you're like, oh my gosh, my thoughts create my reality and I can just think my way into abundance, which you can, but it's also embodiment. Yes, mindset is an important factor into manifesting things into your reality. It's important to create your reality, but at the same time, who you are is key. Because if you believe that you are an abundant person and that you are worthy, life has no choice but to reflect that. But if you are a person full of lack and fear and you're saying, I'm abundant, your brain is going to be like, girl, no, you're not. You are going to feel like you're lying to yourself because you're using mindset to cover up your identity. And that doesn't work. You need to change your identity if you want to change your experiences. So the first way that you can begin to embody abundance and experience all of the money and the financial freedom that you wish is to act as if you already have it. This is where the delusion comes in, because you need to be delusional in your identity. Think about all of the aspects that make up your current personality. What does your routines look like? What do you think on a daily basis? What is your belief systems, your values, your strengths, your weaknesses? Who do you surround yourself by? How do you dress? How do you walk, talk, act? All of these things need to be used to create a different identity that aligns to the life that you desire. Because you have this current identity and it's not serving you. It's what's attracting your suffering to you. If you are believing that you're this person that can't do anything, or you're this person who is not lucky, then your life experiences reflect that, right? But if you thought something else, if you believed you were somebody else, then you have no choice but to experience different. And this is what Marilyn Monroe did. She was Jean Norma, I think, was her actual name. And she was able to turn into Marilyn Monroe, the identity that she wanted to embody. She wanted people to magnetize to her. She wanted to be this seductive, alluring presence to where people would just start flocking off the streets to come up to her. She wanted to be known. She wanted her presence to be seen, felt, and heard by millions. She wanted to be a magnet. And she was. She would be walking with someone and she would tell the other person, do you want to see me turn it on? She was just a regular person. And then all of a sudden she shifted her energy and she was now Marilyn Monroe. People were coming up to her. People were complimenting her. People were seeing her because that is who she was embodying. And you can be exactly like that. You just need to create an alter ego. You need to become a different person. So if you know the type of person that you want to be, the life that they experience, then every time you are not in alignment with that, you're gonna know. Every time you are doing something that is not true to your authentic self, that's not true to the life that you want to live, you can become aware of that and begin to shift it into what you want. It's a constant shifting practice, which leads me to my second tip, is shifting your perspective. So instead of viewing life from this limited perspective, instead of viewing life how you were programmed to view life, you instead want to shift into an abundance perspective. So instead of thinking you're giving your money away every time you spend it on something, think of it as exchanging abundance. You're exchanging money, one form of abundance, for a roof over your head, a house. That's another abundance. You're exchanging abundance for gas, so you can go anywhere that you want to go. That's abundance. You're exchanging your money for lights, gas, all the bills that you're paying. It's in exchange for something, even down to your subscriptions. You're paying, exchanging your money to listen to an abundance of music. You have playlists at your access that you can listen to at any time. You're not losing out on something every time you're spending something, you're gaining something back. But people who are often in a lack and limited mindset, they think that because they're paying for something and because they're seeing their money go towards something, that means that they're losing out. But in actuality, you're gaining. You're always gaining. And shift your perspective to see opportunities instead of obstacles. So instead of looking at something like, oh my gosh, I failed, and just like spiraling into this negative loop, you want to start viewing your challenges as opportunities for growth. So I'll give you a good example, actually. When I moved into this apartment, my program that I was staying in, because I was homeless before this, they were helping me with the rent. And then all of a sudden, my caseworker texted me and she was like, hey, like our funding got cut off and it's going to be renewed at this time, but your specific program is not going to be eligible when we renew, so now you're responsible for your rent. I just feel like anybody else that would have sent into a downward spiral. If you operated from a lack limited consciousness out of scarcity, that would send fear your way. You would start being like, oh my gosh, how am I going to survive? What am I going to do? But instead, I looked at this as an opportunity. So I was like, how fun. Now I get to earn other sources of income. How fun. Now I get to see where life takes me. I had no fear at all because I looked at my life experiences. I know that how I feel and who I embody creates my life. And I decided in that moment, what would Shira Divine do? What would this version of me that I have created do? She would have fun. She would not take life so personally. She would not take life so seriously. She would say, you know what? Now I get an opportunity to grow myself, grow my business, follow my dreams, follow my passions. And whatever happens, happens. I let life take control. I enter the flow state. I get to experience life. I get to experience this apartment right now. And I'm happy and I'm grateful. And I do not have an ounce of worry because I know that my bills are always paid. I know that abundance comes to me in all forms. And this can happen to you too. So no matter what situation or circumstance presents itself to you right now, even if you're homeless, because I too was homeless, you can change it around by embodying a different identity. This is how powerful you are. Who you embody is who you become. The third step to embodying abundance is being open to receiving. Stop blocking yourself from receiving, even if it's compliments. Even if someone is giving you a hug or opening the door for you, receive that. Be open to it. A lot of us, when we're operating from this lack of consciousness, we cut ourselves off from receiving because we believe that we are not worthy of it. We believe that we must do something in order to earn something. And I know that I've struggled with this for a very long time because I had a hard time believing that I can just exist and get paid. It was really hard for me because, like I said, we have been programmed to think that we need to do instead of just be. But in my experience of just being myself, expressing my true authentic self and going towards what makes me happy, I've noticed that things have worked out a lot more than they would have when I was operating from this fear consciousness. It just doesn't work. And even when people would give me things or I remember specifically too, there was this one time where I was at an event from the program that I was in and they were highlighting my accomplishments. They were like, yes, she's done this. She has a podcast and she's honestly one of our star people that has came in this program and she is an example for what we want people to be. And I was just hiding in the corner. I was like, and the lady was like, yeah, tell them about your podcast. And I was just sitting there like, I don't want the spotlight to be on me. Like, oh, I don't want to take up space. Like, I don't want people to think that I'm like self-centered or egotistical or that I think I'm all that. No, I am all that and a bag of chips, and you are too. You need to be able to receive. Because what if I didn't share my podcast? What if I didn't tell people about who I am and what I accomplished when I was given the opportunity to, and there was someone in that group that could have given me an opportunity to change my life? That happens, you guys. That is why you need to be open to receiving, because you never know who is going to be there. Even if it, like I said, even if it's receiving a compliment, even if it's someone praising you, someone being like, hey, I want to acknowledge you for what you've done. Receive that. Because someone else could be looking. Someone else could be observing you and being like, wow, they did that. I want to learn more. Or wow, I want to invest in them. That is abundance. And also when I say be open to receiving, this also means be open to unexpected sources of income. Because when you have your mind so focused on one way of receiving things, then it blocks out all of the other ways that you could receive abundance. And abundance is not just money, you guys. Abundance is everywhere. This is why you need to be grateful for the things that you already have. Anything that you want to be abundant in, whether this is your career, money, your love life, your personal relationships, your inner growth, anything that you want to experience abundance in, send gratitude to it. And abundance will multiply. I saw this one TikTok where this lady was explaining that she quit her job with less than a couple thousand in her bank account to survive off of, and she had bills due, like she was in debt and she needed things to pay, but she decided to take that leap of faith and trust that the universe would pay her bills. And then she said she was getting coffee at a coffee shop. She met this officer, they exchanged numbers, and then a couple days later she got into a car accident. And the cop that happened to do the report for that car accident was the police officer that she was nice to and she met in that coffee shop. And then the police wrote a good report, and her insurance ended up giving her all of the money that she needed to pay her bills plus some. And when she was asking the insurance company, why did you guys give me so much money? And the insurance was like, well, the part that was damaged, and she said like her car wasn't even that damaged, it was just like a couple scrapes, and she was like, we just paid you out for the money that it would have taken to repair that car part because we don't want to be responsible for it. And she was like, okay, thanks. And she received that. That is how abundance can work. Opportunities can quite literally fall out of the sky. Things can happen like that. Nothing is by coincidence. So accept things when they are given to you and receive them with gratitude and joy, and it will multiply. So now I want to leave you with action steps that you can begin to take right now to start embodying abundance. Number 1 is practice gratitude daily. Shift your perspective to the things that you already have and send positive energy towards them. Gratitude is a money multiplier. Gratitude is an abundance multiplier. Number 2, start visualizing the version of you that has everything that you want. Number 2, start visualizing the version of you that has everything that you want. Start looking at what you want out of life like nothing is possible. Take all of your limitations out of your mind right now and just think on what you want. What would you do if the world was your oyster? What would you do if there were no limitations? And start writing that down, and then start writing what a version of you would do if you had those things. And then start to move accordingly. Start to practice those habits, practice those actions, and then eventually you will become the person that can attract those things. So take a list right now, make a Google Doc, open up your phone notes, and ask yourself, what would the version of me do if I already had my dream life? How would they dress? How would they walk? How would they talk? How would they act? What are their habits? What are their belief systems, their thoughts? Who are the people they surround themselves with? Dig deep into this new identity. And number 3 is start giving. Give what you want to receive. Even if you don't have the finances right now in your current 3D reality, you can give your time, you can give your energy, you can give compliments, you can give your resources and knowledge. Again, abundance is not just money. What do you have to offer people? Even if it's just something nice, even if it's just a smile, give what you want to receive. Start giving to other people and you will begin to receive more. And then the more you receive, the more you'll be able to give. So I hope you guys enjoyed this short little video on abundance. You are deserving. I just want to let you know that if you're struggling right now, or if you feel like your life is so out of reach, it's not. All you have to do is turn up the frequency and tune in to the life that you desire, and it can be yours. Everybody on this earth right now, if you are watching this video, you are supposed to be a millionaire. You are meant to be a millionaire. Everybody is. Everybody can experience what life has to offer. Even if you don't want to be a millionaire, you can receive financial abundance. And again, I'm going to mention my free resource linked down in the description. It is the Millionaire Mindset Blueprint that gives you all of the principles, the actions, and the mindset shifts that you need from doing my 4 years of research into becoming a millionaire and studying people who have wealth and success. So make sure that you follow me on all of my socials so you can stay updated on future projects, which is coming pretty soon, and all of my videos that I post. So I will see you guys next week.